Mark, you said the second half performance pressing to give you lots of food for thought in terms of selection and formation and what have you. Have you done a lot of thinking during the week?
Yeah, as always. I think it's just the performance and the type of performance that we want was more evident in the second half. But personnel, confidence, all of those things come into play, especially when you've just lost the games that we've just lost. So, I think within that we've had some good performances, but there's been spells within the performances that have meant we've lost the games. Now, once or twice we've had decisions that have gone against us, and again we had another decision go against us with the penalty. We've had confirmation that it wasn't a penalty, but there's sort of a bit of ambiguity around that, so I need to do a little bit more digging on that just to get a bit of clarity on the decisions that they made, because we get the KMIs back sort of a few days down the line after the game. You got those yesterday, so I just need a bit of clarity around it. But I think, going back to the West Brom game, there was a penalty in there, there was an offside goal in there, penalty for us, offside goal against. And then a penalty decision against us last week that really wasn't a penalty. So those things as well can count against you and have counted against us. So our luck will turn, but we'll have to make that happen ourselves. But stay focused and stay confident as we possibly can do. There's no reason to overly analyse. Because you can overthink things as well. I think there's a lot of positives within the performances anyway.
Morning
Bob. Morning, Bobby.
Yeah, chaps.
In terms of matches, you're obviously on a difficult run at the moment. How's that impacting on you all?
It's a weird one because regardless of results, you just got to carry on preparing and training the same way, because like I say, I feel that the standard of training and the attitude towards it and the application is the same whether we win or we lose. We're just going through a bit of a tough spell at the moment, and everyone seems to think, and including myself, that it's gonna click, it's gonna change at some point. We might not win every game, but we're gonna be putting in some better performances, and picking up better results is what we need to do, to be fair. And yeah, around the training ground, it's you've got to carry on being yourself. Being there for one another. You never know what's going on, and just being vibrant and being positive.
You hit Stoke, I guess, on a decent run of form. They've been quite an unpredictable side for a while, haven't they?
They manage really well. I think Alex does a really good job wherever he goes. They're really well organised. He gets his players then playing in his way, under his direction. They do it clearly. They've got a clear way of doing things. They, tactically they may change for certain opponents, but stick to their principles as much as they possibly can. And like I say, it's down to us to try and overcome what they have. But they've got some good players. They've recruited, they've changed quite dramatically as well this summer, and they've got some good players in the ranks, and two of which we know pretty well with Luke McNally and Michael Rose. So that'll be interesting in itself. So yeah, it's all to play for, and we're looking forward to it.
And the manager's been saying that you've had sort of confirmation as a club that you've been a bit unlucky on some decisions, a couple of penalty decisions that have gone against you, a couple of offsides. When you hear that, does that make you sort of feel better in a way that things have gone against you, and it's not, if things have been different, results would have been different, or was that just frustrating to know that?
It's part of football, isn't it? Like, we're not going to get every decision, and we haven't got the VAR that the Premier League have, even though that doesn't look like it's the most consistent thing either. We've just got to try and take the decision out of their hands, and have the onus on us scoring goals without them chalking it off or making decisions where we need to get a goal for a draw or for the win. Try and make it a more comfortable match without needing a referee's decision.
We've had a fair bit of of illness throughout the camp, and obviously over recent years it's been terrible. This time of year is not great at all. So ultimately, yeah, of course it does.
Can I ask who might miss out?
No, you can ask, yeah, but you won't be getting an answer. I'm sorry.
That's fine, mate. No worries at all.
And then just finally, I was just going to ask you about. I think you played alongside Kitch last season at Barnsley during your loan season at Barnsley. How many games did you play together, and was that in a 3 or a 4?
That was in a 3 last year. God, I don't know. It was probably like 27, 28.
Yeah, so quite a fair chunk of the season.
Yeah, possibly, yeah. It was,
Yeah.
from January to the end of the season and including the playoffs.
Yeah. So you feel you had quite a strong partnership, if you like, albeit in a 3.
Yeah.
Well, did you play on the right and he on the left, and then you had
Yeah, we
in
had
the middle?
a little separation in the middle, Mads Anderson.
Yeah.
But me and Kit's partnership, we understand each other very well. We can talk to each other when we need to, and we've got the respect there for each other, so yeah, definitely.
Season. From the outside looking in, it would be quite easy to say, oh yeah, there you go, that's a classic playoff hangover, isn't it? The start of the season, the following year is difficult. How unfair a reflection would that be?
I think that's a lazy view. It's an easy view to make if you don't do any or if you don't follow the team or the club and what's happened over the last 10 years, 12 years, So you've got to be realistic. I mean, the fact that we were in the playoff final last year was incredible. We were within a penalty kick of getting promotion to the Premier League, which would have been unbelievable. As it was, we didn't manage that, and then everything that happens after that is then a different challenge. That's what's happening. It's a different challenge. There's a lot of change. There's change of ownership. People even tend to forget that, and there's a lot of change still happening. And people get used to that. And sometimes I don't think human beings really like change, and certainly if it's a revolution, it becomes pretty difficult from time to time. But that's not what's happening. We're trying to sort of evolve a little bit, but there is a lot of change nonetheless, and the players come into that, and hopefully they can see some positive change around the building. We've recruited pretty well. There are some really good players here. We've had some great players through the building. We've lost 2 really top players as well on the back of that. So it takes time. So people that are looking in from the outside, and say, don't be lazy, have a look into it and see the reasons for it, and don't make excuses. I never make excuses, but I give you reasons and try and give reasons for why certain things are happening, but things will turn. There's no doubt in my mind. I think we're going to be a really good team, and there are really good signs, positive signs in every game that we've played, and we could have easily won every game we've played in, and that includes the Leicester game, first game of the season. So whilst that happens, there can be, if your results aren't going as you'd want them to, and the last 4 have gone not particularly well, but the performances within it, or parts of the performances within it, have been actually pretty good, and sometimes scintillating. We're creating chances, we've got loads of possession, we do pretty well with the ball, we create some really good openings, but we look to improve on that as well. But that will happen over time, and that's the thing that we need. We just need a little bit of time to turn that around, and the results will start to flow.